Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel today. This is Paul again from Kentucky Tacklebox. Today I want to revisit a lure I did a video on about 4 months ago, and it's called the Heddon Torpedo. And this is an old vintage lure. It's been around for quite a lot of years. And a couple months back I did a video where I was talking about the problems I was having getting fish to hook up because of this rear spinning propeller on the Heddon. And I was talking about some options about either taking some tin snips and shortening it up, maybe trying to bend the arms of it so that when the fish comes in, it's not hitting this instead of the hook, or just removing it altogether, like on this one on top where I've actually done that and just removed the propeller. And then I got looking at it again today, and I got to thinking, uh, I'm really not satisfied with the performance, trimming that down because it kind of reduces the action of the lure. And when I tried running it without the propeller on, the performance wasn't quite as good as the longer Heddon spooks and the spook juniors, which are more of a walking bait. And part of the issue of that is because the line tie on the Heddon spooks is down at a lower angle here instead of coming straight out the front of the lure. So anyway, as I was looking at the lure, and I've already removed this blade. I just have it kind of just propped up here for demonstration purposes. But I got to thinking, is there another place I could maybe mount this? And then it dawned on me, the front line tie on the front of the lure, it's just screwed in. So I've got one that's partially unscrewed here. I'll go ahead and finish unscrewing it, and I'll show you what I'm doing here. All I'm doing is moving the propeller from the rear of the bait to the front. And actually, there is precedent for this. There were a couple of old baits made back in the day that actually had this type of setup on it, too. I don't know if Heddon did this themselves or another lure company, but I can recall seeing something like this a year or two ago. I can't remember where it was. It was somewhere on the net. But anyway, once I got to looking at that, I thought this is definitely going to be probably exactly what I need. It still gives the lure its action, but at the same time, it doesn't foul the fish's mouth as it's trying to strike the lure because the propeller blades are kind of getting in the way. So I've got this one that I'm just, let me rig this up here real quick. Okay, so basically what you have now is that the lure has the propeller on the front instead of on the rear. So now if the fish comes in to strike it as you're pulling it through the water, it's not going to have that propeller blade in the way following as its mouth is kind of trying to close on the back hook. And instead, it's going to be on the front, and it will still spin as you're pulling it through the water. And it'll still create the action that makes this lure very effective as a good top water lure. And it is an effective lure for a couple of reasons, to be honest. The size is really good. The size mimics something about the size of a cicada, which is really a great bite-sized morsel for a lot of size different fish, whether you're fishing for bass or other species. But any type of fish that attempts to hit a top water will definitely be interested in this, especially at certain times of the year. When the water temps are starting to cool down, that can trigger the bite for top water and other issues too. Days that you have calm winds a lot of times, especially on bodies of water that are lakes and things like that around edges of shorelines. These are really effective lures to work as well. But hopefully this gives you some ideas if you've got some of these Heddon torpedoes sitting around your tackle box and you haven't used them for a while. The nice thing about them is, like I say, you can just unscrew that front eyelet. And at first they're a little tight in there, so I just used a pair of like needle nose pliers to kind of hold it, and I just used the body of the lure to gently unscrew it. And if it seems like it's sticking and it's not coming out, you may want to try to work it back and forth a little bit before you can dive into unscrewing it, because if you don't and it's in there super tight, you may risk snapping the eyelet off. But on both of these, I've actually had both of the front line ties off, and I haven't had any issues with either of these line ties breaking, this one or this one. So, but yeah, and it's just another example of if you've got a bait you haven't been using because you feel like it's kind of maybe not working to its full potential. Hey, feel free to try these modifications because it does make it a lot more fun. And if you come across something that really helps your fishing, then it makes it all the more worthwhile. So right now we're in the fall bite, and the top water's been pretty good here in Kentucky. Other parts of the country may vary depending on the temperature right now, but Kentucky's been really good. We've been getting plenty of top water action in the last month or so because of the cooler temps that are coming in. So I'll leave you with this. Get outdoors when you can. It's a great place to be, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.